Hi everyone, this is Caro at Lacey's Creations here in South Australia. Thanks for joining me in my craft room, and hello to all my subscribers and my new subscribers. Today I'm bringing you this nice sewing journal. I'm really happy with this one, how it's turned out. It's a hardcover. The base underneath is ticking, and then I've just layered it up with lace and little flowers, and I did a three-dimensional plate here just by putting 3 layers and a bit of foam under it, and then applique on the spine, and I've kept the back quite plain just with the little book corners, and I've used the hitch post closure. That's how she looks from the side, a lot chunkier than what I first anticipated. I thought I did a wide enough spine to keep it flat, but you could, if you don't like it like that, you can take out some of the ephemera pieces. And then I've just put these little lovely charms on the bottom. A little made with love, a heart, a cup of tea, because we all like a cup of tea when we're crafting or sewing, and just 2 little blingy pieces. So let's get straight into it. So the closure is just a seam binding, which I've tied off there and put little multiple bows, and you just press down and pop it on like that. Okay, so I've used lovely digitals from Craft Art Story, yes, at Etsy. She doesn't have an Instagram or a Facebook page, but she has a YouTube where you can see flip throughs of her digitals. And then in this first pocket, I've made an envelope out of an old music sheet, music book cover. Got a few bits of paper in there. I've added a few things throughout so that you can do some of your own collaging or making of tags. And then this lovely dress on the back, which I've put applique and some little bling rhinestones. I've used this lovely blue wallpaper that I got from Lily on Instagram, lily.nz13. You can check out her page, and she still has wallpapers, vintage wallpapers for sale from New Zealand. So that's the first page there. Just a little bit of an embellishment up there in the corner. And I've wrapped around old pattern paper on the page, which is what this rough looking edges are, sewing around. And I've put some nice onion paper in here. And that's another one of her images, which I've just put an applique over the top and a little ribbon for embellishment, and just left it like that because I thought it was so pretty. It's a very old Vogue pattern. And it's just a nice little pocket I've made. Just got some scrap paper in there, a lovely little tag, and some blue fabric. So as you can see, it's predominantly a blue theme, but there is some pink pages in there, I say, as I turn the next page. A little bit of an embellishment there. And this is a vintage envelope, which I've just paper clipped on there. Put a little bit of pattern piece on there, and a couple of little cards inside. You can see it is an original vintage envelope from the 5p stamp on there. And I've left quite a bit of journaling space as well, because if you wanted to actually use it as a sewing diary to keep your notes, you need somewhere to write. And I've used a fair bit of the original Home Journal magazine, which I've cut these pieces out of. That's a nice old piece of ledger from 1960, and a couple of little journal cards. Just slip in there. That's tracing paper, that one. Here's another one of the beautiful images. I've got a fly in here. And that's just a little envelope that I printed onto tracing paper, and it's just got a few little buttons in there. And this is a lovely old original letter. I thought came to the seamstress, and she's kept it there. And that's beautiful old ledger there. It's another one of the beautiful images from the kit. This kit was called the Vintage Sewing Journal, I think it was called. I'll link it down below anyway. And this is the middle of the first signature. Oh, Fly wants to be a film star. Just popped a couple of little photos in there. They could either be customers or they could be her relatives. And she's just kept them for a record. A little fabric swatch there, which is just clipped up there. This is fabric glued onto the back of the paper, and it's turned out really nice. Another lovely image. And I didn't want to do anything to this ledger because I thought the writing was so lovely, and it's 1944. Just put a little bit of embellishment there. Lovely writing. And this is a little belly band that I made out of some tinsel denim with a little bit of lace over the top on that blue wallpaper. And this is just a few little things. Another relative and letter, and there's a Silco ad there from out of the magazine. Another one of those beautiful images. Really lovely artwork on this digital kit. I was really happy with it. Here I just strengthened the spine with a little piece of fabric as well. That's the other side of that 1960 ledger, and there's just a lovely original magazine page. July 1954, Australian Home Journal. Ads. They had lovely ads in these magazines, and they said a lot of things, I guess what we'd call politically incorrect these days, that ads don't say these days. They're quite funny when you read some of them. This is just, oh, is it going to ruin the... my director said the fly's not going to ruin the video, so let's hope it doesn't. A little bit of embellishment there. So I have got a few pieces left over from when I did the dressmaker kit from Odolcina scrap from Anne's Beautiful Digital. So I've used a few of those in here just to try and use them up. That's a very old vintage tape that I've put there on that pattern piece page. Some lovely old lace there, just as an embellishment. And this page is interesting. So that's the tag. I started out to be a tag, and then I decided to make it a pocket, and it's got one of my little belly bands. So I make up a whole lot of these, and I just have them in pieces and use them as embellishments. And then this is an original Reserve Bank of Australia money bag, and I've just altered it with this little pattern piece here. I've put your penny in there. You can't put a money bag in without having the penny in it, otherwise it might be bad luck. A little bit of ephemera in there as well, so I quite liked that, leaving it. I didn't want to over decorate it because I wanted you to actually see that it was original ephemera. And then this side, this was a letter that the dressmaker got from the CWA YWCA, which was the Young Women's Christian Association, and they were having a concert and they wanted costumes made for their musicians, and so they sent along this little sample of what they wanted the beautiful dresses to be made out of. So, and that's an original first aid cover, which I've just stamped there and changed a little bit. And that goes into this lovely lace pocket here. More of that lovely onion paper. And then they also sent along an original cheque to pay for a deposit for the costumes to be made. So this cheque is the National Bank of Tasmania, and it was from the 18th of August 1906. So that's original ephemera as well, which I thought would be lovely to have in there. And then there's this lovely doily here. And this button, there's a couple of the buttons in here that I've used are antique Czechoslovakian glass buttons, which I got at an antique shop in Taupo in New Zealand in 2012. So I've carried them around and hoarded them for a few years, but I think now it's time to start using some of these things up. Some more of that beautiful digital, and that brings us to the second signature. Just in a lovely little envelope there, and it's just got another picture of a relative and some scrappy bits of paper and whatnot in there. And this lace that I've used on all these edges is a very old lace. I got that also at the antique shop, and I've been using it up over the years, but I've still got quite a bit of it left. And an old pattern there. And my daughters ask me constantly, Mum, how do you know something's old? Are you just saying it's old? Well, the easiest way to know something's old is by the price of it. Like these patterns, they're 65 cents, and some of them even have, that one's even got, oh no, that hasn't got the shillings on it, but some of them have the shillings, so we know that it dates back to the 60s. But 65 cents, patterns these days are $20, so we know just from that it must be old. And then lovely ledger there, which has 1943 written in it. Beautiful script writing they did. Just a little journal card there I've made. More pattern paper. This is just another little, that's a belly band that I made a long time ago, just out of a bit of music paper and sewed the lace on top. And this is just another little journal card. A bit of graph paper. Another journal card, and this is an old original letter card. I'm not sure if you would remember these. They were a bit like an aerogram. You wrote in them and glued down the side and just put your address on the back and the address on the front, and they got sent off like that. Now that people don't write letters very often, I think the post office has done away with making a lot of aerograms and things like that. Just nice journaling space there. Another pattern piece. So even though I've got all these basically blank pages, it's still very chunky. And that I left because I thought that was nice to write on as well. It's just obviously a piece of pattern tissue, and I've decoupaged it down onto that page. And this is tracing paper that I've printed on and backed onto the digital there. More of that ledger. Same thing there. And this is a nice little pocket that I've made. I'll just take all these things out. You can see the pocket. Just popped it on the front of that last signature. So these are just little cards that you can journal on. This is a little glassine bag, and it's got a few more little photos in it. It's always important when you're a dressmaker to have reminders of who you've been sewing for. I did a lot of sewing when my children were little, and I wish I had kept photos of them all the little dresses that I made. This is a lace pocket here, which is quite pretty, just on that pattern piece, and a little journal card, which I've just popped another card inside there. And I've just put these little pieces of very old paper on the back here, but you can tear them off and use them for collaging or for making tags, and then just journal on the back of that card. That was my idea behind that one. Another one of Anne's little embellishments there. And this is lovely spotted tulle. Bit Christmassy looking probably, but I quite liked it, and it's very, very soft, so I just popped it over that beautiful image. There's a little lace flip. And then here's another piece of the Australian Home Journal. Oh, my grandson's in the background crying. I don't know if you'll be able to hear that on the video. Let's hope not. He's had an afternoon nap and woken up grumpy by the sounds of things. A little floating pocket there. This is some of Anne's digital here from the Dulcina. And then in there I've just got a few more little pictures. Of customers. And that's just the little slow stitched side tuck that I've done there. Bit of crazy quilting, some old buttons, and then I just pop my card in there. You can take that out, obviously. More of these images, aren't they lovely images? I was really taken with it, so I just thought that's what I'm going to use for my sewing journal. And this is just a stick pin here. I've popped it out to the side because it's quite bulky, and the book already was bulky. And these are some pages from the home journal again. Lovely images. There's two there on that one. Oh, and this is another. So I have the money bags, but this one is actually a money roll paper. So they rolled up the coins, the shillings. This is a shillings one. So they rolled them up, and then that got wrapped around it. But I've just made a little lace swatch with that. It's just a little scrappy pad. That's actually one of Sam Paul's images, but it's the only one I've used in here. Just some nice little papers in there. I thought that was quite cute. Another magazine, or the other side of that magazine. Beautiful dresses they made. My mother used to sew all these sorts of dresses. And this was an original, I'm not sure where I got this from. I have bought stuff at auctions over the years, so I think this might have been amongst a lot of that stuff. But it's an original little pattern in there. I've just left the whole thing in there. And that obviously must have been the dress that the pattern's for, a size 6. So I've just left that intact like that. Popped it in that pocket. And this is a which I've got off a needle book, and I just thought, well, that'd make a nice little journaling spot there. And then this pocket's got some goodies in it. Another little needle book, which folds right out, this one. And a tag and a little glassine envelope filled with tiny buttons that you can use. And just a little journal card. And there's another piece of original ephemera and a little journal card. And this pattern I wrapped around the page and made it a little flip out here. So in here there's some more papers and another magazine. I won't open it all up. Another magazine page and some papers, just things that you can make your own tags with. And a couple of Anne's little dresses in there, just for decoration. And that's off another, oh no, that's out of the magazine. I just fussy cut the little girl. Just a bit of a frill there. And that's the tracing paper on top of that digital. Couple of little plain journaling cards. And that's the other side of that lace pocket, which I thought was quite pretty. And then I've made this little layered tag. You can take that piece off. Just got a little pocket in here. Little pocket here. With a lace sample on it. And then turn it over the back, and there's a couple of little tags in there as well. That's that. And then on the last page I made this little bodice pocket. So I've layered some Aida cloth underneath and a little bit of lace netting there. And then I've sewn these little tiny buttons. I hand sewed those all on, embellished it with this flower. And then I've just popped another little tag in there. It was quite cute how it worked out, where I punched the hole in her hair, and I thought, oh, that ribbon will look like it belongs here. Looks like it belongs in her hair. So yeah, that's the book. This beautiful wallpaper from Lily, as I said, on Instagram. I'll tag her below. And I made a little book board to go with it out of an original book there, and I've just put one of Anne's digitals over the top and a little bookmark just to go along with it, just to make it easier to use. So that's all there is. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.